after 11 and a half weeks in the rehearsal room, to finally get an audience was, you felt it, right? Jason, thank you. You felt it. Barbara, really incredible. I mean, spending all that time in seclusion and finally having that energy, right? Really, quite incredible. I mean, look, it's been better, sure. It's been better, but I thought you defended the work. You put yourself out there, and I was really, really proud of that. Claire, if you could just keep an eye on the time. I've got some notes, obviously. And Sydney, I thought we would go to that Italian place that you've been talking about, right up together and dine, break bread, share that. I think that's important, right? Great. Now look, a couple general notes first. Don't make friends with the audience. Don't reach out to them. Don't try to sell it. The work stands on its own. There's a fourth wall there, people, yes? It's there for a reason. Just let it come down organically. Let it just breathe. Let it settle. Ben, I saw you. You were reaching out. Maybe it was the first time with the audience, but don't. Just sit back, yeah? And the other thing, look, and we've talked about this, right? The difference between the rhythm and the tempo, yeah? The rhythm, the overall arc, the structure of the piece, I can see it, it's there, there's gaps, but it's there. And then inside of that, the tempo. When we listened to Mozart, didn't we, Matthew? Right? The Marriage of Figaro, right? We must disturb the tempo. It was all a little bit on the same level. Okay? So those are just a couple general notes. Now, I think the space is working really, really well. We've got the painted floor, yeah? The ritualized playing space. I mean, this is the site of transgression and transformation, yeah? And then on the sides, the neutral corridors with the wooden benches. Really nice. And then, of course, the screen, which mirrors the playing space beautifully. And then the performers entered. That was good. Everybody settled. Nice. And then what happens next, Thierry? What happens? Silence. 5 minutes of silence. And what was it, Claire? 3:40? We said 3:40? What happened, Thierry? You chickened out. At 3:40. I want 5 full minutes of silence. Yes, I know people were shuffling and moving, and a couple people left. I don't care. Yes, they're uncomfortable. The beginning of the play is uncomfortable. That's the whole point. Marcellus and Bernardo, they're out there on the ramparts. It's freezing cold. There's a ghost. You think they're happy? No. Starts from a place of unease. So I want a full 5 minutes, Claire, and you let me know if he chickens out again. It mustn't. It's the beginning of the play, man. Right, now and also, Thierry, the first cue, the sound and the video, they have to come together, man. Right? I mean, Reiner has created this incredible videoscape. I don't even know how to describe it. It's Reiner. Danke. Yeah? Danke. It's so beautiful. The stones of Elsinore kind of shimmer and vibrate, and it embodies all of those 15th century carnival paintings from Lower Saxony that we looked at. Yeah? Jacob van der Elst, the Elder. It's beautiful. And then you get these leering faces coming out of the stones. Incredible. And then the soundscape that Giovanni has made, which is, I don't know how to describe it, as a kind of neo-new wave Italian post-industrial techno. Perfect match for the video. But they must come together. They must come. What is in that big binder you carry around? We did the technical. I don't understand it. It must happen all at the same time. Shouldn't there a button? No. And then I've written here. This is where we set out our stall. These are the bones of theater of distortion, right? Now, Ben, at the beginning. Who's there? Yes, the first line of the play. Who's there? You get up from the neutral corridor, and when you're on the painted floor, you're there! Catching fire, Ben! Right! But you kind of wandered on. No, because look, the technological will overwhelm you. Theater of distortion is the synthesis, yes, we've talked about this, of the technological and the corporal, the visceral, the physical. So you must lift up the physical, or you'll be overwhelmed, Ben. I mean, we took a chance on you and Farid. I don't know what they teach you at that Juilliard, but what is the word, Rainer? Erheben, yeah? To lift up, to exalt, Ben. Yes? Right, good. Giovanni, yes. Great theatre. Yes, I say, this is where we set out our stall. Who's there? The first line of the play. Yes, right now. Matthew. Where's Matthew? Yes, hi, Matt. So, this is a little technical note. And they say, who's there? What is Horatio there? Yes? And you say, a piece of him. And I don't know, you're around here, and we have you sticking out your arm. Literally, that's the piece of you that they see. Yeah? But the thing is, it wasn't in the light. So we didn't see any pieces of you. So I think it's just technical. You have to check with chair, but it needs to be like higher, a bit higher and closer, I think. And it makes sense to me, this, because, if you jump out, they'll shoot you. They're nervous. So it's good. You're testing the water. A piece of him. It's nice. But we need to see it, obviously. It's the appearance of the ghost, right? Right. I mean, the ghost is incredible. It's like a 3D flaming death head. And I don't know how, we don't wear the glasses, so I don't know how it works, but it's incredible, Ryan. But here's the note, Matthew. And it's really great. It's like Tony's, it's like in that movie, Ghost Rider, right, with Nicolas Cage. I bet you looked at that. No. But still, Matthew. And you said that you have the line, it harrows me with fear and wonder when you see it, yeah? And we have you, and your back is to us, and I like that. That's nice, but there's going to be more physically engaged there. It's like, oh, it harrows me with fear and wonder! Right? I mean, I want to believe that if we didn't have this incredible death, and say Tony walked across the stage with a white sheet over his head. From your reaction, we would really believe that you've just seen the ghost of Hamlet's father, right? I mean, it's just more physically engaged there. Great. Good. Yes. Yes. Good. Now, oh look. What page is that? That whole stuff about, the show came in at 5 hours and 30 minutes. I was just thinking that whole backstory about old Fortinbras' claims to Norway and all that. It is, yeah? I mean, what I want is you and Claire to get together and just make me a proposition on that text, right? But just really have a go at it. Good. And it's page 7 in the Penguin. It's 153 in the article. Good. Yes. Now, right. After you've seen the ghost and you decide to go, break we up our watch, you say. And you go to leave, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen unto young Hamlet. You say that. You've decided to tell him. But I just want to see that moment, because look, you could easily say to Bernardo and Marcellus, look, the guys, let's not say anything. Hamlet is messed up, his dad is dead, his mom is married to his uncle. This is going to put him over the edge. Let's not say anything. Let's leave and never come back to this place. But you don't say that. You say, let us impart what we have seen unto young Hamlet. And from that point, everything, right? And I think, in Act 5, when Horatio is standing there and the bodies are piled up around him, maybe he wishes he could go back and make another decision. Have a do-over. So just take a pause there. Break we up our watch. Feel the responsibility in that moment. Okay? Take as much time as you like. You've earned that. Great. Yeah. So, yeah. Right, and then, okay, look, it's great when you go down and sit in the audience. I love that. Because Horatio is the watcher. He's the credible witness. And so it makes sense to me. But you went to, what did we say? L or something. Don't go back that far. Just D. We decided D, 4th row max. Okay? Because you were late coming down on your next cue, or what, Horatio, or I do forget myself. And then you were running down the aisle. On that line, you need to be on the stairs. Okay, ready to go. Yes, now, scene change, interior Elsinore, and Ryan, it's amazing. It's just this sort of blue, awful blue, not royal blue, awful electric, and it just comes down the walls and it infects the floor. It's like Yves Klein blue. But worse, it's so densely blue that it accuses, I think, you know? And it's like Claudius has taken over the castle and he's redecorated and he overcooked it on the royal blue. It is awful. And then the entrance of the court and the music and the video have to come together! Thierry! What are you doing to signal the cue, man? Is it a rope and pulley system? And you pull on some rope and a flag goes up, and on the other side of the theater, a technician with binoculars sees it and cues it. I don't understand. Is the keyboard locked in a box and you have to apply for a password online to open it? What could be taking? This just boom, right? Despair. I mean, I don't know what you're doing here, really, sometimes. Now, Dennis, where's Dennis? Dennis. I mean, you want to see someone catch fire, right? Dennis, amazing. Comes on, it's like ignite. Like a reggae god. So compelling, Dennis. But Claire, look, it mustn't, the leather pants, they can't be any tighter. If Sylvie wants to take those in again, no, that's it. Because it's too distracting, you know? How you can bend over in those. But it's really, really good. And Barbara, the way you it's so sexual and just, it's visceral. This is theater of distortion. The way you hang on, draped like liquid. And the whole theater suddenly just smelled like sex to me. Incredible. I mean, of course, they've been doing it all over the castle, right? It's awful. And just, do you know, Barbara, I thought, when I saw it, it's one more button. Tomorrow. Just try it. One more, right? One more button. They've written down here, best sex of your life. Right. Now, Jason, we first see you. And it's great, and you're kind of in silhouette. And it looks like you're retching. It looks like Hamlet is retching. It makes sense to me because, you know, the sight of his mother and his uncle and the obviousness of the sex. And yes, he's. I think you should throw up. He's not just, you know, I think it's you should vomit. Right? He's vomiting all over the, but like slow motion stylized vomit. Yes, you see what I'm saying? It's more physical. It's awful. Right. It's good. Yeah. Yes. And that first speech, you know, Jason, seems, Madam, nay, 'tis, I know not seems. Just give it away. Just lighter. Hey, look, this is as you've discovered, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? So just start easier. Give it away for free. I mean, because at the end, these but the trappings and the suits of woe. It was very, I thought, oh no, he's going to bottom out. There's a lot of famous stuff coming down the pipe, man. Right? So just ease your way into it. Just give it away. Like, okay? Yes, Todd. Todd, you always sit way so far at the back. And Sam. It was great. Very nice. Laertes Ophelia. Nice. I just said good. So it must have been good. Now, oh yes, right. There's that scene with Sidney and Todd where Laertes asked if he can return to Paris. Yes, that was nice. But then here it went off the rails a bit for me, because when Hamlet asked to return to Wittenberg, and Dennis, you've always said, and as for your intent to return to Wittenberg, oh, fine, always been fine. But then tonight, you said, and as for your intent to return to, and then Barbara, you said, like he forgot? That's not in the text. Or he didn't know it was a little bit of business you guys made up? You thought he needed livening up a little bit of comic business there? What? That is not theater of distortion. You went down in your dressing room and you thought, oh, I've seen this thing where I've got a little idea here for a bit of business and you can put that in? Unbelievable. That is not. What have we been working on? I mean, that is cheap and easy. We're trying to make things difficult. I mean, sometimes I don't know why I bother. I really don't. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against self-slaughter. Oh, God. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie on it, fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Not so much, not 2. So excellent a king. That was to this Hyperion to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember. Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month. Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month! Or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body like Niobe, all tears, why she, oh God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married to my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, where'er the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue. Yes, Terry, finally, thank you, a cue that came on at the right time. Oh, thank you. The thing is, Terry, you fucked yourself now, man, because I know you can do it. You have to do it every time. Yes? Okay. I won't mention anything. Everything. Yeah, just that too sullied flesh. Like, I like that you're saying sullied. I mean, there's 2 schools. Claire thinks it should be solid. I understand, but sullied. I like sullied. This is more theater of distortion in sullied. It's damper somehow. But you know what the thing is? It was all too up here, man. It's like a close-up in your TV show. What is it? It's CSI Detroit. That's the one you come down from. Well, you know, it's all a little bit up here. It's not TV. You need to engage your body. I mean, what have we been working on, right? Use the language. Things base and gross in nature, incestuous sheets, right? Okay? And I've written down here, the exterior of your body is not my responsibility. Okay? Yes, now, Matthew and Hamlet, in that first scene. And Matthew, you come from Wittenberg, yes? You're this great seat of learning in Europe. You're studying, what did we decide, philosophy or theology. Yeah, and Wittenberg, Dr. Faustus, yeah, and Martin Luther, Dr. Martin Luther. Dr. Martin Luther King? No. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. Anyway, come. Smart cookie, Horatio. And Hamlet, yeah, he's there. He's studying, theater studies. Yes, second-year director's program at Wittenberg. Done a great production of Waiting for Godot last year. It's a great acclaim. Claire loves Beckett, don't you? Maybe next year you do Endgame. Something. Is that the one with the dirt pile of... Anyway. Yes, yes, so the point is that, Horatio, you're a smart cookie, and what I need to... When you tell Hamlet that you've seen the ghost, I need to believe that you believe that you've seen the ghost, so that I believe that Hamlet believes that you believe, and I will believe Hamlet that he believes. So it's like a belief triangle. Okay? Because at the end of that scene, and you say, as I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And you say to Hamlet, it would have much amazed you. And he says, and Jason says, I very like. But right now, what it's like, we had a great salad over at the Epicure, Caesar salad. You would have really loved it. I very like. That's how it sounds. So I saw your dead dad, man! It would have freaked you out! Oh, yeah! No kidding! That's dead dad! He's seen his dead dad! So it's got to be much more, right? I can feel that. At the moment, it's just, I very like. Raise it up. Oh, yes, now, Todd and Ophelia, Laertes and Ophelia, the scene where he's warning you about dating Hamlet and giving you some brotherly advice. And there was a time when I saw the tempo that I've been looking for, right? It was playful and interesting, and it moved around, and I think all those ball games that we played in rehearsal really paid off. Yes, when we went into the forest with the medicine balls, right? And we did that work. It was really great. I just keep going down that path. It's lovely. Lovely. That's what I'm on about. Nice. Now, Sydney, here my father comes, right? Ophelia says, here my father comes. She says that, Sydney. You need to be on the painted floor, catching fire. Here my father comes. Oh, there you are. But what happened was you're in the neutral corridor. Here my father comes, you said, and then you walk down to the end, and you just as your shirt somehow, and then you kind of wandered on. No, you've got to be there. Here my father comes. Right? I mean, I know the Tibetan benches are low. So these are the ones that I want, and they look absolutely fantastic. I know your needs. There's full. Right? So just give yourself more time. It's fine. When you're in the neutral corridor, just get up, give yourself lots of time. Get there. Okay? Yes? Because I think, the least that we can do is be there so the other actors can do their thing. Yes. Good. Yes, now, and in that scene, Sydney, with Laertes, and that famous scene, neither a borrower nor a lender, but you're giving him advice, he's going back to Paris, and you want to make sure he's going to be in good shape as a young man. It's very famous. People are saying the words along with you in that scene. But to thine own self be true, yes? But it was all too easy. And I think we might want to look at this tomorrow, Claire, if we could put this down on the call sheet. Because I thought, look, Todd is an enormous guy with red hair, and He's huge. But you mustn't be afraid. I think this is a real chance for some physical action here. I want you to grab him by the hand. You've got stuff you've got to tell him. Get him. Pull him back. Bring him on. And then, Todd, you've got to get away. You've got chicks waiting for you in Paris, right? At the Gare du Nord, you've got the bullet train to catch. You've got to get out of there. But you won't let him. You've got things you must say. And I just think there should be more of a battle there. And I think we could look at that tomorrow. And that would be nice. Yes, we'll do that. It's the first thing on the call sheet there. Thank you. Disturb the tempo, I said. Yes. Now, and then Polonius and Ophelia, Sam, I mean, she's a teenager, yeah? She's 16 or something. But where's that teen angst, right? I mean, remember last year when you did Lady Macbeth? Lady Macbeth had such pluck, right? She was such vigor, such balls. Lady Macbeth, your Lady Macbeth. And I just think Ophelia could do with some balls like Lady Macbeth, right? Because, she's a teenager. At the end, when you say, I will obey my father, I think it's going to be, no, I will obey. No. She can't just, and also look, I thought, she has to be a woman of substance or Hamlet is never going to fall for her. She can't just be another religious doormat, right? At the end, when Hamlet jumps into Ophelia's grave, and he says, I did love her, the love of 40,000 brothers could not equal my sum. I would eat a crocodile for her. We have to believe in that. So she's got to be a real woman of substance. Look at that. Yeah, look, Macbeth, Lady Macbeth, and Ophelia probably played by the same boy actor in Shakespeare's company, right? I don't know if that's helpful. Yes. And then we're back on the ramparts, right? You say, Hamlet says it is a nipping and eager air. But you don't have to do the cold acting, guys. Don't do this, because it's freezing in the theater. Like Reiner has, they could see the sort of hairy, frosted walls of Elsinore and the sound that Giovanni's made with the cracking of the ice, and it just, we all feel it. You don't need to do the cold acting. Yes, now, Jason, I asked you to come up with that moment when you see the ghost of your father. Because there was something missing there, and I asked you to make that moment. And what you did, it was incredible. It was really, I don't know how you did it. It's a high stage. And you fell off backwards. And then you ran out, and then you ran up the edge of the theater, and you were screaming, and then seconds later, you came barreling back down, and you dove onto the stage, and you were like, that sound you made, like an animal, like primitive, connected to the unrepeatable, really. Amazing. That's what I'm talking about, Jason. That is theater of distortion. Really, just wonderful. Fully embodied. I said, you crushed it. You so did. Yes, now look at a little technical note, Claire, because for Giovanni, because I think when the ghost beckons them through the screen, and the screen's not activated, obviously, right now, but when they go through, it's like it's like a portal, isn't it? It's like in Star Trek? No. What is it with what's the one with Stargate? Stargate. It's like in Stargate, right? And they go through the portal. And there should be a sound effect, I think. So it's something like, no. No. Yeah, that's it. Something like, you go through. Yeah? And then when they come back through, it's the reverse. Giovanni could come up with something there. Just a little effect. Yes? Great. Tell them how much we love the work. Yeah. Goes back through hologram. Right. Oh, yes, Tony. Now, the death head is incredible. Where's Tony? Tony. It's great. The death head is amazing. And when you come out underneath it, because you come out and then the death head pulls back and you're there as the ghost, and then somehow Reiner's managed to, it looks like you're still on fire. It's incredible. But when you're on the painted floor, Tony, you're there fully embodied. You kind of snuck in under the death head, right? No, when you're on the painted floor, you're there. The entrance was a bit... you got off, fine. Lots of confidence in your exit. Not so much in the entrance, which I think you want to look at. Mm-hmm. Yes, the poisoning. When you're describing the poison, I'm going to look at this. Page 32. Imagine when you realize that moment when you realize you've been poisoned. How awful. There's no going back. That's the text, 32. Yes, that swift as quicksilver, it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posset and curd like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. In you! It's like, and you, everything's turned to natural gates and alleys of the brain, and then everything just gives way. It's just... awful. But at the moment, Tony, it's like you've got a bit of a tummy ache. Like a couple of Tums is going to sort it out. You'll be fine tomorrow. No Tums will fix this. You are gone. Done for. And I've got a book. It's... I got it through the Chrysler Foundation Library in the rare book section. It's called Contagious Bodies, a Cultural History of Poisoning in the Early Modern Period. Starting at the fall of Constantinople in 1453 and chronicling poisoning all the way through history. It's amazing. I think you should look at that. And Dennis also. So, Claire, you need to copy that tonight, I'm afraid. I'll highlight some bits, and you guys should look at that, because I think that will just inform, you realize how obsessed the English are, for example, with poisoning. And I think you should look at that. That might be all you need there. Good. Yes. Yes, right, yes. And then, when the ghost leaves, and Jason, and you imagine all of that you've learned from the ghost, and the guys come back and they say, "What news, my lord?" And you're like, "Wait, you'll tell." No, we won't. I promise, we won't say anything. No, okay, no, you promise, you swear? Yeah, we swear. And then he says, "There's never a villain dwelling in Denmark, but he's an errant knave," is what you say. And they're like, "Well, yeah, you don't need a ghost to tell us that." What? For some reason, he hasn't said, he'll never believe it, but Horatio, the ghost, said that my uncle poisoned him. He doesn't tell Horatio. Horatio is a straight arrow, right? Horatio's going to want to go straight to the police, and maybe Hamlet's thinking, "Oh no, that's not going to work because my uncle's the police now," and I don't know. But that moment is the first moment where you don't act. And that becomes a problem, doesn't it? This is a moment of possible action he decides not to tell. And I just think I need to see that everything is going off in your brain right then, and you can't. Okay? It's a critical moment there. Moment of decision. Yes. Yep. I thought we might look at that tomorrow, too. So you put that on the call sheet there. Yeah? Right, Act 2, right. Now, Polonius and Rinaldo, Farid, I don't know, I'm sorry. I think that whole stuff with where you're telling him, sending Rinaldo off to spy and then Laertes in Paris. I'm sorry, how many parts are they playing between Farid and Bell? 14, right? Sorry. Farid, you were good on that. You're okay? We'll take one for the team. Sydney, you're good with that? Great. Yeah, now, and then Hamlet has said at the end of that rampart scene. That he said to the guys, and if you see me around the town, acting strange, it's nothing, I'm just acting, I'm just pretending, right? And they all break up. And then what does he do? He goes straight to Ophelia's chamber. And she, Sam, you come in and you relate this next scene. We don't see it. You relate it to us. She says he's come in, his garters are soiled, his doublet is unclasped. He's acting mad. She says, but why? He says he's going to be acting mad in the village for show, but now he's alone with Ophelia. Is he mad? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not my decision to make that. But the point is here, Sam, that you need to relate the story, really tell us the story, so we can imagine that we've seen it. And what page is this on? 41. Just look at this for a second. Yes, he took me by the wrist, and he held me hard. Then he goes to the length of his arm, and with his other hand, thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as it would draw it. And that then, she says, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. I mean, God, he took her by the wrist! He hurt her! And then she says, and he raised his head up and down 3 times, and he lets out a sigh so piteous that it would end his being. I mean, what does that sound like? I don't know. But right now, Sam, it's kind of like, what you're doing is kind of like a cross between a not great audition speech and a little bit of physical theater. I mean, it's like what the French say, le cul entre deux chaises, yeah? It's like you have your bum between 2 stools. It's not one thing or the other. I mean, you need to be like Artaud, what Artaud says. You need to be the martyr, tied to the stake, signaling through the flames, Sam. Right? I mean, look. It's so great. It's so close. Everyone just take a second. It's 5 minutes. Really, after dinner, are you busy? Can you just go back to my Italian and wine and look at these scenes? Yes? Okay, great. No, because it's just so good. Okay? Wonderful. Okay, fine. Sorry. There. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Martyr, yeah. Okay, yes. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Keith and the puppet. I don't know, Keith. We worked 12 and a half weeks with the puppet, and Dennis, what's that fellow's name from Exploded Doll? Phil, right, Phil. Phil from Exploded Doll has made this creature. And it's the embodiment of all of that grotesque carnival tradition from the 15th century that we looked at. It's an amazing creature. And you worked so close with him for 12 and a half weeks, and it's just tonight, it was gone. It was like you were apologizing for the puppet. Keith, why? I don't understand. We read Gordon Craig, didn't we? The Uber Marionette. You are the puppet. The puppet is you, Keith. It's deeply disappointing. I was so glad that Phil wasn't here because I think it would have broken his heart, honestly. I mean, look, it makes so much sense, the puppet. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are childhood friends of Hamlet. Yes? They grew up together. The nursery, puppetry in the nursery, nursery of cruelty, Punch and Judy, yes. We read Morris Sendak, for heaven's sakes. The wild things, right? The night Max put on his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind or another. Where was the mischief? There was no mischief. I just want you to think about this now because I have other notes. I'm coming back to this. You need to think about what happened tonight. Okay, look, yes. The letter, Hamlet's letter to Ophelia, Sydney, and Polonius comes in with it, and he's discovered the secret of Hamlet's madness, and he's in love with Ophelia. And look, I just want to look at this little sonnet because, I mean, you do it, the way you do it, it's a bit sing-songy for my taste, but I understand it's in the romantic tradition. I understand. Doubt that the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him Hamlet. Huh? Now the thing is, when you get to the end there, while this machine, meaning body, this body is to him Hamlet, the thing is, machine is a very modern word, right? We don't use it to mean body anymore. So if you're going to do it in that romantic way at the beginning, at the end, when you get to machine, I need you to drag us from that romantic tradition into contemporary tradition, into the 21st century. You just take that word, machine, and, I don't know, mechanize it somehow. Right? Was this machine? Twist it. Break it up. Yes, bring us into this tradition. Theater of distortions tradition. I mean, otherwise, I just can't bear it otherwise. Yeah. Right. Good. Sydney, yes, things, yep. Yes, I mean, right, we read Heiner Muller, right? Hamlet Machine, yes? We did, didn't we? We didn't, Claire? Oh, what? Wait a second. It was in the first week, and I had it. Oh, we didn't read Heiner Muller's. Oh, that's on me. We did read. Oh God, I'm sorry. We can't do a production of Hamlet without reading Heiner Muller's Hamlet Machine, right? I was Hamlet. I stood on the shore and spoke to the surf behind me, the ruins of Europe. Blah blah blah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Look, Claire, you're going to have photocopy. It's required reading. Everyone must read that. It's going to be a late night for you, dear, because everyone's got to have that text. I mean, sorry. We'll get that. We'll read it. It's important. Okay. Keira Knightley. It says, what does that mean, Claire? Keira Knightley. Oh, Kierkegaard! When you Google Kierkegaard, you get Keira Knightley. Strangely. Awfully. This is alphabetical. It's not in order of importance. Yes, Jason, in that scene with Polonius, and in what you read, my lords, words, blah, blah, blah. You'll get it later. It's just a bit too light, too pat. You know, why you're a fish, all of that stuff, it was too easy, it played too easy, and I thought, it needs to have weight. And then look, obviously in theater of distortion, we don't have props. But I thought, what you should have here is a book, like a real book. What would Hamlet be reading? Danish philosopher, Søren Kierkegaard, right? Of course, it makes perfect sense. And then I thought, well, I was in this rare bookshop in upstate Connecticut, and I got this little leather-bound edition, and it contains The Fear and Trembling and Sickness unto Death, both in the same little leather-bound volume. Incredibly weighty. I'll give it to you. Take care of it, right? Bring that on with you. See what happens. Okay? It's going to make a difference. Excellent. Yes. Right. Now look, guys, Keith, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and Hamlet, when you see each other for the first time, and you say, "Oi, how do you, lads?" And it's like, "Well, hey, Hamlet, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, oh, let's party! Let's drink some Danish beer and a Carlsberg." And he starts with a kind of a bawdy joke, doesn't he? "How do you, lads?" And they say, "Well, we're not at the peak of fortune, but we're not in the gutter either." And then Hamlet says, "Well, yes, you're in the private parts of fortune, aren't you? Right? Yes. You're in the sweaty groin of fortune, because fortune's a strumpet. Fortune's a whore." It was all just so pleasant and nice. Look, we read Bakhtin, didn't we? Rabelais and his world. Where were the fart jokes, guys? It is all so very nice, because right after that, Jason, you say, "I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, if it were not that I had bad dreams." Incredible. Sublime. It's the whole point of Shakespeare. You've got this big body scene right next to this sublime text. But it was just gone. Nothing from either of them. Okay? I don't know why you want to make things so nice and easy, but really. I mean, what have we been working on? We've been working on disturbing and tempo and you know, I don't know why. I stay up at night. I've been sleepless, and I'm trying to think of ways that I can communicate these ideas to you. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No. Nor woman neither. Why are you smiling? There? What? Have I got my shirt on inside of it again? Keep it. Write it down. Tell me later. Okay? Now look, Jason, that text that you have, I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, yes? I don't know the words, but anyway. You did something, you got to the end and you said, what is this quintessence of dust? And you did that. Like dust acting. You acted out quintessence of dust with your fingers, like that. It looks like you're putting Parmesan cheese on someone's pasta. You don't think people will understand Shakespeare's words, so you need to indicate it by quintessence of dust acting? I mean, it's redundant. You don't need to say the words and do that at the same time. I tell you what, I mean, it was extraordinary to me. I mean, I tell you what, I'll make you a deal, though. You either do the dust acting, so you say, what is this? We move on. Or you say the line that Shakespeare wrote. I know which one I would choose. Yeah. Now the entrance of the players, and this is what kind of drives me crazy, Jason, because the player, this is another one of those moments, and we just needed something to connect here. And then I asked you to come up with that moment when the players arrive, and then you do this thing when they come in, and you're like, it was amazing. It was beautiful. I saw everything made sense when you did that. Yeah, Hamlet loves the players. He loves the theater. It took me right back to when you were a little boy, and probably the same company of players came to Elsinore. And it was joyous and real and beautiful. And you do the quintessence of dust acting, and then you do something like that. It drives me mad. Really, lovely. And I love this because, the players have come in. They've been traveling all day. They're 8 hours hauling their props and sets and costumes, and they get to the castle. They've still got their coats on, and Hamlet says, "Give us a monologue," right? And then this speaks volumes about actors. They're so willing. They haven't even had a cup of tea. They're like, "Sure, of course, my lord. What would you like?" And does Hamlet choose something easy, a little ditty, some comedy? No. The murder of Priam. I mean, they do it, of course. Murder of a king. I mean, it's on Hamlet's mind. It's understandable. And so, look, Tony, when we talked about this, it's really strong, the diagonals, right? And you start in the diagonal. You're giving that speech to Hamlet. And Jason's over there, and it's really great. It's strong. And then when you get to the middle, take it out front. Take it right out front. Still for Hamlet. Take it right out front, okay? Because Reiner everything goes red. Suddenly, flooded with this like revenge. We're in the Mediterranean and passion and Troy is burning behind you. This incredible image. Just take it right out front, yeah? Good? Excellent. Yep. Bring it up front. Yes. Yes, fire, revenge. Oh, right. Now this text. The murder of Priam, page 58 in the Penguin. There's a moment here. I think we could just make a bit more of it. Tony, you say, "For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of the Reverend Priam, seemed to the air to stick." Right? So it's like, can't do it. And Jason, and you're standing there, and you're like, he's like, "No, he can't. Of course he can't. I can't." He totally connects with this moment in the theater. No, he can't kill him. It's this indecision, this inability to act, right? And I just think we want to just all I'm asking, Tony, is just hold it there. Let Jason have that second where we see in him that terrifying moment. Right? Get quick to it. And then, boom, pop! Right? Blood splatter all over his linen suit. And then Jason, you're like, oh my God, he did it. Hamlet can't do it. But he did it. He's a man of action. Right? Terrifying for Hamlet. And then, later on we get Laertes, another man of action. And Fortinbras marches his army across Denmark. Right? This player here. But in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wanned. Tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba, what's Hecuba to he or he to her that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech. Make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like a John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. Not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a villain? Who calls me coward, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this, huh? Suppose I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain. Remorseless, lecherous, treacherous, kindless villain! Now, this is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, fie upon it, oh, foe! But my brains. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been prompted so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it hath no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll get these players to play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. Observe his looks. Attend him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath the power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy abuses me to damn. I have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. Jason, look, in that, what a rogue and peasant slave in my text, yes? And we've got you, and it's just, keep it in. Remember we talked about, that guy, the pitcher for San Francisco, right? The closer, that little guy with the beard, and he's all bent up, and he's full of energy, and he's shaking them off. He's shaking off the pitches, and you just know he's going to explode, and then, oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Yeah, you are the arrow, Jason, and the target. Does that make sense? Good. Great, moving right along. Okay. Act 3, the haunting. And it's dark. It's black. And well, it's not quite black because of the bloody red exit signs. Why can't you have blackness in the theater? Silence and darkness. In the theater, why? I mean, this is where the theater begins and ends. And you have that line, and the rest is silence, right? Where can we get silence? Toronto is so noisy. Everything is being dug up. There's no silence. In the theater, or in church, right? Or at a ball game, right? When they have a minute's silence, someone dies, yeah? And they have a minute's silence, and everybody gets up, and they put their hands on their heart, and they have a minute's silence. Like when O.J. died, right? And they did that. Right? Anyway, it's dark. And then Reiner has these figures that just kind of appear out of the screen, and it's like these spectral bodies, these grotesque forms. It's like it's like a Francis Bacon triptych. Yes, and the disembodied voices. And it would work through everything is disintegrating in Denmark. But look, Sydney. Up is on the mics, Claire. Is that right? Yes, up is on. Sydney, up is on. Right? So the thing is, you weren't a disembodied voice, Sydney. You're just disembodied. It didn't make any sense, that first scene between Polonius and Claudius and Ophelia when they're about to spy on Hamlet, because we couldn't hear you. And right, and then at the end, you kind of came in at the end, it just didn't make any sense at all. So just practice with it. Thierry can take the mics down and practice in his practice in your dressing room, turn off the lights. Up is on. Up is on. You gotta hear it. Right, yes, to be or not to be. Well, that's cut, obviously. Yes, now, Hamlet and Ophelia, and they get you to a nunnery scene, Jason, I mean, it's a really cool effect. We can't see anything. We hear these voices, and there's a little bit of echo and reverb, and it sounds kind of cool, but it's not enough. You've got to use your voice. You've got to twist the words. It doesn't matter that way. I don't even care if we understand them, because it's all about things falling apart, breaking up. I mean, Ophelia and Hamlet are breaking up. So take it and get the roll it. You can't see you. You have to use your voice. Yes, I mean, it's perfect because at the end, Ophelia, she has those lines like sweet bells jangled out of time and harsh. Right? That's what we're doing. Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. This is all about the disintegration of Hamlet. Perfect. We've got to use our voices there. Right, now, Hamlet's notes to the players. Well, that's what we're doing here, obviously. Well, yes, and then, the murder of Gonzago. The play within the play. And Reiner has made a kind of, it's a 3D stop action or claymation carnival slideshow. Well, just don't understand how it works. But anyway, now, Dennis, when you see yourself in the play, and you call for lights, give me light, away, you say. Thierry, what happened there at that moment? He's not cueing you, man. It's a line in the play. I think you dozed off. And someone said, give me light, away, and you went, whoa, full on. It was like the Spanish Inquisition. We went from black to full on, 100%. Oh my God. You got to pay attention. Claire and I, we decided it was 30% is what the lights go up to 30, just a little tiny bit. I mean, is it a language thing? Imperceptible. Right? Look, here's a word you'll understand, Thierry. Dim. I want them dim. There's room in your work for some subtlety, man. Look. Yes, I said like Reiner's slideshow is it's like a cross between Svankmajer and what's that? Shrek. What's the one with Eddie Murphy? Shrek 2. Jesus. Anyway. I'd rather get my underwear outside my pants. Yes. Yep, good. Then, yes, after the play, yes. Right, okay. Look, Keith, I can't hold off any longer here. It seemed like you were embarrassed about the puppet. And I know, and you're like, why do I have to be the one with the puppet? After 12 and a half weeks, suddenly I guess it's the audience. Having the audience there, suddenly you were aware your friends and your family are going to be there, and you're the one with the puppet. Is that what it is? I mean, in the scene where you're telling Hamlet that he needs to go and visit his mother, and then it was just, look, I didn't want to go down this. Obviously, it's about manipulation. And you're thinking, it's so obvious. Yes, I mean, you're manipulating the puppet. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are trying to manipulate Hamlet. They're being manipulated by Claudius and Gertrude. I'm manipulating everybody. I'm the director, for heaven's sakes. But I'm being manipulated too, right? By the theater, by the producers. And look, they're being manipulated by the punters, the patrons, and they're being manipulated by their bosses. Of course, it's a big manipulation shit show. Yes, it's obvious. But have the critics read Gordon Craig? No. Have they ever built an Uber marionette? No. Right? I mean, they think they know everything. Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak? Splud, do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you fret me, you cannot play upon me. Jason, I love that thing that you're doing with the pipe, because I know you wanted like a recorder or something, but we don't have prize. So the wolf whistle thing is working really great. I mean, it was an idea I had late at night, and then it's terrific. And look, because the thing is, when you say play on it, and they say, no, I know no manner of it, my lord, whatever. The puppet obviously can't do the wolf whistle because it doesn't have any hands. And Keith can't do the wolf whistle because one of his hands is up inside the puppet. So then you can go, I can't do it. But you do it great. Just wail on it. It's really fun. It's a really nice moment of humor there. Anyway, it's excellent. Go more. Don't be afraid of that. It's terrific. Yeah. Go for the rest. Just fingers. Yeah. Good. Yes. Now. Yeah. Right. Manipulation. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, the chapel scene. And now, Dennis. I mean, it's incredible. You come in, and I don't even know how you're able to bend down in those pants. But you can hear the leather squeaking in the silence of the chapel. It's kind of cool. And you're able to create this sort of intimacy and this solitude, this kind of intimate solitude. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. But look, what I thought is at the end, and you're there to repent. But I mean, after all, he's about to have Hamlet shipped off to be murdered. I don't think he's repenting. I mean, and we have at the end, it's really great, and you're crying at the end. But what I thought was this. I thought, you're going, you're my words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go. Right? He doesn't repent. Yes, just try that. It'd be really nice. Now, Jason, you come in, you see him. I don't know why Hamlet hasn't just gone up the back stairs to Gertrude's chamber. But for some reason, he's gone past the chapel. The long way around. And there he is. And it's really cool how we've got, the capoeiro that you're doing when you sneak up behind him. And it's kind of like, I can't do it, but you do it great. Right? And you sneak up behind him like ninja. And then you're there. And then I had this something, you're there and you're about to kill him, choke him to death. But you can't. Obviously, Hamlet can't. But you really can't. I mean, there's no way your little CSI hands are going to go around Dennis's neck. He's huge. So it doesn't make any sense. He's got the big gold chain on. I just thought, no, he's not dangerous. I mean, it should be a capoeiro, like a capoeiro kill move, right? So we're going to Jorge back, and we're going to figure something out there. I just want to believe that you can just go, rip out his heart in one move. Yeah? I mean, that would be great. I mean, because look, the capoeiro is working great. At the end, instead of the sword scene, when we have the capoeiro fight, it's fantastic. It's just violent and balletic, and it's just really, really good. And you're very good at it. So we just get that, like in what is that movie with Uma Thurman and Kill Bill, right? Kill Bill, and she has the 5-point exploding heart technique. Something like that, like when she kills, is it David Cassidy? Yeah, she kills David Cassidy with the phone. And you just, right? We're going to come up with something like that. Yeah. Yes, now might I do it, pow, pow. Oh yeah, and I love it, and you're off to Gertrude's chamber, and you say, coming, mother, coming, mother. Really good. I don't know where that's come from, but it's excellent. Yes, now you go into Gertrude's chamber, and it's a sight of everything that is, she's confused and exhausted, and it's the sight of everything that is private and primitive, and it smells like sex in there, and he's so. And we read Herbert Marcuse, didn't we? Eros and Civilization, right? And Hamlet goes in, and it's, and this whole Freud thing too, right? The son must kill the father to become the father, but his father's dead, and now his uncle is his father, so how does that make sense? Yeah? And he's so tired, and then we talked, didn't we, Barbara, about the button. It's good. Sorry, it's, yes, Barbara. Okay, Jason, the death of Polonius, how now a rat, yeah? What you did, you said, and he's hiding there in the chamber, and you say, how now a rat? And you went, like you had a sword in your hand and you were stabbing him. No, you did do that. Claire and I were laughing. We said, what is this? There's no swords. There's no mime of swords. It's capoeiro. Did you forget? Capoeiro. You kill him with the capoeiro. Suddenly you were Errol Flynn. And Sydney, you were Donald Wolfett. You were like, oh, I am slain. Sydney, we worked on the death. We worked. It's a cross between Javanese shadow puppets and German expressionism, right? And we worked on this. We worked. It's angular. It starts neutral. Oh, I am slain, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it angular, Sydney. Right? Keep it angular. Hold it. I mean, you've got the knee pads, right? I don't understand if you just don't want to do it or you forgot. And then, look, Jason, and then you drag him off. You dragged him for 10 feet. That must have hurt. When you're in the neutral corridor, you just stand up. Right? Just stand up. No more dead acting in the neutral corridor. You just get to the neutral corridor, stand up, sit down. Right? We worked on it. Oh, I'm slain. Errol Flynn meets Donald Wolfett. That's how we got the ghost. Now this is driving me crazy because the ghost, who sees the ghost? We had the same problem in Macbeth. I don't understand. What was Shakespeare thinking? I mean, Hamlet sees the ghost, Horatio, Marcellus, Bernardo. The audience see the ghost. But Gertrude, you don't see the ghost. And yet you say, all that is there I see. I don't understand. What is Shakespeare thinking? So I'm thinking, I think maybe just Hamlet sees the ghost. It's in his head. So Ryan, I'm sorry, I think we used to cut the ghost. Didn't make sense. Except the ghost talks. Ghost talks, so okay, we keep the ghost. Keep the ghost. Sorry. Just have to be one of those things. Keep the ghost. Yes. So, yeah, now Claudius, yes, this is where Claudius is sending Hamlet to England with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern after the body is discovered. Yes, he's due in England for, like the hectic, he rankles in my blood, right? And now Dennis. What does that say? Claire, what does it say? Can't read my writing. Sorry, Dennis. What is that? What is this? chilled. Dennis, does that make any sense? Or it says very good, Dennis. It looks like it says oily or... Anyway, I don't know, sorry. Dennis, good. It says very good, Dennis. So, right. And then, yes, now, we have the next exterior, only the second exterior in the whole play. And and Reiner's giving us this incredible, there's these waves, these crashing waves. And it sounds like cannon fire a bit. And they're, this North Sea, dark, begin, and then again begin. Up the high strand with tremulous cadence slow, right, Claire? And bring the eternal note of sadness in. Matthew Arnold, yes? Claire loves Matthew Arnold. It's like Bergman, yes? Sawdust and tinsel, but without the clown. And then, what's the note? Oh yes, right, Ben. Look, I know you've been sitting there a long time. What is it, Claire? It's like about an hour. But still, you've got to be ready to go, Ben. You're sitting on the bench, you've got to be ready to go as the captain, right? Because when you and Tony at Fortinbras come out, and you've got to be there, burning on the painted floor. I mean, it was so sleepy. I mean, look, it's like, here's what it's like, Ben. It's like bottom of the 9th inning, World Series. Game 7, bases loaded, 2 outs, and the coach goes, O'Halloran, you're up. And you're like, wait, what? You got to be ready to go. You got to go, and not only do you have to be able to, you got to go yard, Ben. Long, home run, Ben. I need you for that. Right? And Jason, it looked like you, same problem. You came out, I thought, oh gosh, he's run out of steam. He's run out of gas here because you came on, and you were like, oh, who are these men? Right? And the captain's like, well, this is Fortinbras's army. Oh, we're marching to Poland. And you were like, oh, who are these people? Where are the people, Jason? Where are the people? Here are the people. Here are the people. You come on. Who are these people? There they are, right there. You're like, well, I don't know where you were looking. You know, these samurais have 7 seconds to make a decision. Theater of distortion, 1 second. Who are these? Whoa! There they are. Who are these people? Oh, they're marching to Poland. Why? Why are they marching to Poland? To fight for a little cabbage patch. Oh, and Hamlet's like, well, the Polak will never defend it. Oh, no. And you guys don't seem to believe in this scene. All these men rushing to fight for a little tiny patch of land. You don't think that happens? Margaret Thatcher sent a flotilla of destroyers for a rock and a couple sheep. Right? It happens. This is the real thing. You know, where's your commitment? You know, you come down from CSI, you got a beach house, I bet, don't you? In Malibu or something. Do you? You do. Boat? Stainless steel fridge. The 2-door kind with the ice machine. Jason, you look inside that fridge, it's bare, man. There's nothing there. The fridge is empty. Don't go home. You're here with us on the street, foraging, right? That's where I need you, man. I mean, I question your commitment, and sometimes I wonder what you're doing here. What is a man? If his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed. A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such great discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fust in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion, or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward, I know not why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and strength and will and means to do it. Witness this army here, of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince whose spirit, with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly, to be great is not to stir without great cause, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men? who for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds. Fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough nor continent to hide the slain. From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or nothing worth. Sang. In the mad scene. Sang. And it's so heartbreaking. In the mad scene. You have that text. What page is it on? 107. Young men will do it if they come to it. That sounds like Frankie Goes to Hollywood. By cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. She'd been tumbled and not wed. And then when you pull out your panties and you look down, it's so desperately sad. But tonight you had some kind of skin-colored underpants underneath. What I don't understand. You lost all your confidence in that moment? I don't even know where you get underpants like that. Why? I mean, in 5 minutes in the drowning scene, you're completely naked anyway. You lost all your nerve. Oh, it just killed me, Sam. Why? Where's your commitment, Sam? Commitment, people. Where is the commitment? My goodness. And then Todd. You come back. Laertes comes back. Now, Todd, you're a Viking, man. You're enormous. Why do you keep denying your physical presence? You're a red-headed Viking. Give me my father. I'll not be juggled with. I'll be revenged. You come on Look, if people are coming on and catching fire, they should seriously be worried about the entire place burning down when you're on stage. Honestly, stagehands should be standing in the wings with fire buckets with the whole Todd's on. Get ready. Really? But yet you're not. You come on like you're Johnny Depp in The Importance of Being Earnest. I cast you as Laertes because you're that man. Don't deny your physical self, man. Gosh. Okay. Yes, now Matthew, that letter that you read from Hamlet, page 114, it's about 4 hours in at this point, right? And I thought, oh gosh, what I would like you to do is take that letter and just précis it. Just pick out the important bits, okay? Because you don't need the whole thing. So something like Horatio, when thou shalt pirate of a very warlike appointment, I boarded them. Let the king have the letters I've sent. I think that's important. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. He that thou knowest thine Hamlet. I mean, something like that. Yes? You work with Claire. Just I need the information. So, wait. Right. Yes, now, tempo. Here, we've got Dennis and Todd coming on, and they're plotting the death of Hamlet. And this is where I thought, everything is kind of sagging at this point, but we could break it up with it, because you guys are enormous, and you come on, and you're plotting, and then you come, and then Horatio comes on with the letters, and he's sharp and quick, right? And then you're off, and then, again, Laertes and Claudius. And Dennis, I thought, Dennis is like the uber villain, and you're standing there, and you got Laertes next to you like a kind of loaded cannon. You get the idea that this guy's going to do whatever you want. And you're like, I thought, it's like Pacino in Scarface. He's the ultimate, or Terry Thomas in Monte Carlo or Bust. And I thought, maybe we should have one of those little twisty mustaches, right? Maybe that's too much. But the thing is, it's over the top, but it's credible. This is theater of distortion, right? We're dealing in archetypes here, right? Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Todd, you've got those lines, you had them in Macbeth as well. Remember in Macbeth when you played Malcolm and someone says to you, they say, your father's murdered. And you say, oh, by whom? Not like, my dad is murdered. What? How did this happen? No, it's your father's murdered. Oh, by whom? Yeah, I heard that. And now they say, oh, your sister's drowned, Laertes. And then you say, drown? Oh, where? In the fucking ocean! In the river! What do you think? It's like, my sister's drowned! How can this be? Who's responsible? No, it's, oh, drown, oh, where? I don't know. Sydney, could you just say the line, let me try. You say your sister's drowned, Laertes. Could you? Sydney? Your sister's drowned. Okay, sorry, give me a second. Thank you. I wasn't sure if your hearing aid was on or not. So, yes. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah, thanks.
Your sister's drowned,
I'll give it to you again. One more time. Laertes.
Your sister's drowned,
Drowned! Oh! No. I mean, I'm not an actor. Just let me have another go at it. Yeah, please.
Your sister's drowned,
Drowned! Oh, where? I don't know, something like that. I mean, but do you see what I mean? You've got to somehow endow that line with all of that other, the feeling of all that. You understand? Have a go. Maybe we should look at that tomorrow. Put it on the call sheet. Thank you. There. Good. Right. Now, right. Oh my God. And now. Projection gives way, if the castle gives way to the water tank's projection. And the light is coming through the water. It's incredibly beautiful, Reiner. Only it's not a projection, is it? It's the tank of water. It's the water tank. And people don't realize. And then, Sam, when you climb up the side, and you're in silhouette, and then you get into the tank. And it's so beautiful, and you're like, floating past, right? In your hair, and it's like, it's not pre-Raphaelite, it's like post-Raphaelite. It's like Rossetti meets Splash. Yeah, with Daryl Hannah when she used to be so beautiful before her face went all twisted. But not tonight, Thierry. That didn't happen like that tonight, did it? Thierry, you cannot fill the tank to the brim. She has to get in it. Displacement, Thierry, displacement. Come on, man. The water went absolutely everywhere. There's electricity back there. It's not dangerous, Sam. It's fine. And the capoeira scene was like a hockey game. Everyone was sliding everywhere. It was a complete disaster. Come on, your people. And then when the projection of the earth for the grave scene came in, which is so beautiful, the worms are going through it and it sounded like someone was having a bubble bath behind there. Like a kid's party. Thierry, she can't get out of the tank on her own. You gotta have your people there to help her. Oh, for God's sake! People, where is your commitment? Do you want to know about commitment? I'll tell you something. The tank, I asked for the tank. The producers wouldn't give me the tank. They said, no tank. I paid for the tank. I had it imported from Croatia. We had to reinforce the stage to support the tank. It cost $60,000. I paid for the tank. This is the beginning of my commitment. Where is yours? Honestly, do you know? I mean, I just. I gotta pee. I'm sorry. All this talk about the water. But look, Claire, if you could give the call times for tomorrow, and I'm coming back, and I want you all to think about your commitment. Right, because I feel I'm in this alone sometimes. I'll be right back. It's terrible. There are only 2 days left. It's impossible. I can't get it together in 2 days. Jason is awful. I will never work with another TV actor ever again. Sam is so beautiful. She hates me. Oh. No. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Look, I mean, it's an audience full of family and friends, and thank you. Not to lessen your response in any way, but I just wanted to say thank you to you for supporting this little event. It's meant a lot that so many people came, and it's helped to pay for our scrim. And Dan, my colleague, who's the director, who's up there. Really nice. You don't this is like a private evening of theater just for us, and it's really lovely. And anyway, I just want to thank you. And we're going to take this down. It's going to take about 20 minutes, and then we're going to go to the pub. So I mean, when you get a chance to have all your friends together, you might as well. So if anyone wants to, maybe we'll go down to the Banknote at the Bathurst and King. It's a big pub. So if you're free, then we will do that. And I just wanted to thank you all for your support.
Well done, man.